So I got a great video in store for you today, right? It's all about compression, but we're gonna go about it in a little different way, okay? You know, typically in golf, there's two ways you can work on things. You can work on things with internal cues or external, okay? So internal example of that is I'm gonna move my lead knee past the ball. I'm gonna bring my elbow into my torso. I'm gonna maintain this angle between the lead arm and the shaft. Those are more internal. I'm really thinking about what my body's doing and how I'm gonna do it and when I'm gonna do it, okay? Definitely can work. We've got to do that from time to time, but a great way to learn is external, right? A lot of times with an external cue, like ball flight, the sound of the ball, the trajectory of the ball. Today we're gonna be in a fairway bunker, right? Kind of working on the low point. So I'm seeing externally where my club is gonna be hitting the ground. These external cues, there's less of what's called a cognitive load on our brain, so it tends to be less stressful when we learn things, okay? Internal, think about somebody that's ruminating, they're in their head, they're all kind of paralyzed by overthinking. That can lead to that sometime with too many internal cues. So once you go external, it's a little bit different. We're outside of ourselves, right? And typically, many people can learn just as well, if not better, with external cues. So you can see here, I've drawn a line in the bunker, okay? You can see a nice little carved line. And all I'm gonna do here at first is I'm going to try to make my low point occur past the golf ball, right? We know that your best tour players in the world are about 4 inches past the ball is the lowest point of their swing or the bottom of their divot. LPGA is around 3 inches, okay? So we know your average 30 handicap, average is about 3 inches before the ball. Your average 20 is about 2 inches. Your average 10, 1 inch before the ball on most of their golf shots, okay? So improving that low point really can have a compounding effect on improving your scoring and your ball striking. So all I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna make some swings and I'm just feeling my club contact the ground in front of that line. I'm gonna also make sure that my divot, that I'm obviously taking one, but the depth of the divot is rather consistent. And it's kind of nonchalant. I'm not really thinking that much. But I know in order to do this, in order to go from address, which is here, to impact, which is 3 to 4 inches forward, like we talked about, I've got to move my hands and I've got to move the base of my spine more forward, okay? But it's happening externally. I use this drill with one of my best students. His name is Logan Kim. He just won the California Junior World. It's the same tournament that Tiger, Phil, Anthony Kim, some of your best players won. We use this drill with him all the time. His low point control is phenomenal. We have him hit out of fairway bunkers and just not very good lies. He gets to a point where he can hit the ball off of concrete, dirt. It doesn't matter. He's gonna hit it good, even with like a 3-iron off the ground. So it's very, very helpful, and he learned it very organically. Okay, so I've done a couple practice swings, and I'm not thinking a whole lot. I'm just feeling my weight transfer. You can see as the club is still going back, I'm pressing forward, and then I'm feeling my club touch the ground up here on the way to my finish. That's the best way to practice these external drills, is don't really overthink it. Just allow your body just room to naturally learn. Once you feel like you've done it fairly well, go ahead and set up some golf balls. I'm gonna set them on that line. And same thing, I'm not swinging all out here. I'm probably swinging 75%. It's fine if you ground your club. We're not kind of going by the rules of golf today. We're just practicing. Wow, that was pure. Tell by that sound, that was ball first, good contact. And then some of that is, okay, monkey see, monkey do. Another good one. Once you've repeated that feeling, you just want to allow yourself to do it again. And say if I had hit one fat, don't overthink it. Just go ahead, put another ball in, try it again. Allow for that organic learning to take place. Don't go back internal thinking about, too many reasons of why that could happen. Now, that's a quick example. I know you guys don't all have access to a fairway bunker all the time. I'm going to show you another way that you can go about doing this at your local driving range to really improve your compression. So, compression's really been on my mind lately, right? I just did a new series called the Compression Clinic, right? Where we really show students exactly how to improve their club movements through the hitting area to gain the most leverage, the most science-backed way to hit the ball farther with more compression, ways to use their ground and the body more effectively to get a little more momentum out of the club head. So they've really been loving it. If you want to learn more about the compression clinic, there's a link down below. Just click the link in the description. You can kind of check it out. Students have really been loving it. But let's go ahead and move on to the second part of the video and show you another way to do this drill. All right, so we've all been to a driving range like this, right? The grass is a little bit hit on, a little bit beat on, and we're looking for that perfect green, fluffy piece of turf to be on. But what I would really suggest is have you practice, not all the time, right? Because obviously this is harder practice, not the day before a big event or, but do it from time to time to really kind of challenge yourself to improve your low point and, and then your compression. We know that tour players are hitting 4 inches past the ball with a 7-iron on average. That's the lowest point of their golf swing, right? That far in front of the golf ball. LPGA is 3 inches because their club head speed is a little slower. And we know that your average amateur, right, say a 30 handicap is about on average 2 inches before the ball. Average 20 is about 1 inch before the ball. And then your 10 is around at the ball. So the more we can improve that low point, the closer we get to becoming a better golfer. So practicing on lies like this. And then just on another note, in general, I just came off of teaching indoors for 2 years, and I was on a mat that entire time working with my students. It's been really a big difference just realizing how important hitting off of real turf is. It's not always easy to get out here in California. Most places are on mats. But if you can get out there periodically and pay that extra, drive a little farther to be on grass, it can make all the difference in the world. Same thing, it's like I'm in a little mini bunker here. I can't necessarily draw a line. There's not enough sand to do that. But I know I'm going to have no chance of hitting the ground before this ball. So it's one of those things, just putting my students in these circumstances, their swing and their low point gets better. We can literally track that on my flight scope. It improves their angle of attack, especially for those swings that are too shallow and their weight's a little behind the ball and they're a little flicky with the wrist. By the time they come next after doing this some, and they swear to me that they've done it, their low point has moved farther forward and their angle of attack has steepened to a better number to allow them to strike the ball. And that means less thin and fat shots. And then the same thing, you can kind of hear by the tone of my voice, that was very well struck. That divot was past the ball. And I'm not changing my swing at all. I feel like it's the same tempo, the same golf swing. I'm just moving things up here farther. In my mind's eye, the ball is up here 3 or 4 inches ahead of where it is normally. So I'm moving my swing. I'm moving the base of my hips over that way. I'm just doing that in a very natural fashion. Even on my practice swings, if you look at where that turf is flying, you see how far forward that's hitting. That would probably have been about 6 inches past the ball, but I know when I put the ball there, I'm like everybody else, it's probably going to get a little bit more behind than that practice swing did. All right, that same nonchalant, relaxed feel. Boy, that was a sweet crack. That was nice. I could tell just by that sound and that compression that that low point was in a very nice place, and that's the same thing I imagine when I go play. So I hope that helps you out, just different ways to learn about compression. Feel free to comment below. Check out that compression clinic. You'll see some information down below. There's much more stuff on compression in there if it's something you feel you need a little extra work on. But other than that, have a great week. I will see you all next video.